Hello, I'm MPX Toycat, and if there's one structure which is emblematic of Minecraft as a whole, which is useful for all sorts of players from speedrunners to the casuals, and which is maybe OP because of the nature of its sandstone and water, that's right, it's the desert well. Where else are you going to find these two resources, sandstone and water, in a desert? They're just impossible to find otherwise, and that's why the desert well is OP. Of course I'm joking when I say this usually, but I've made the joke enough times that maybe some people have taken it seriously, and maybe as a result of that, the Desert Wells only add-on exists for Minecraft. So, you might be wondering exactly what this add-on does, except you're probably not based on the title, because guess what? Do you ever think that, Desert Wells are great, but they're just a bit too rare? This add-on claims to fix that problem. As you can see, Desert Wells try to spawn in pretty much every available spot. Doesn't matter that it's a birch forest, or just a regular forest we're in. Desert wells are everywhere anyway, and as you can see, it's just so wonderful having this much access to water. It's a bit too wonderful in my opinion. There's just blocks here, blocks there, blocks everywhere around here, and it's harder to play the default game. But today we're gonna prove how OP desert wells are by playing normal Minecraft and being mildly annoyed at all the desert wells there everywhere. Because you know what? This is the society we want to live in. A society where desert wells can roam free, where they're not just limited to the deserts, they're not just limited to 1 in every 1,000 chunks in those deserts, but no, every single chunk has multiple desert wells. They even spawn, as you can see right here, underneath things in the caves, which, I mean... Why does this need to be a thing? Who is this for? I don't know the answer to those questions, but I find it beautiful in spite of that. And yeah, as you can see right over here, it's not just that one cave too. It seems to be a lot of them. Yeah, they're like filled up with stone, which is a bit of a problem, but they are still desert wells existing right here under this under this right here mountain. What are the desert wells doing here? I really want to know. It's funny because for all my criticism of desert wells, one of the biggest ones is that it's like one resource that's available everywhere. It's not really an ambient thing. No one really gets anything from it. But when you see like these desert wells filled with gravel or dirt or granite, at least they're like slightly varied in some way, you could argue. So yeah, this is a world where we can exist around desert wells. It doesn't seem too useful on the surface, and then you realize, wait, all of the water I could ever want. Because the thing about Minecraft water is famously it's finite. Once you take it, it's gone forever. There's definitely no such thing as an infinite water source. So having an infinite water source in the form of this add-on, really wonderful. Having a place that your sheep can roam, I mean, this sheep is having the best time of his life right now. This is the dream. This is what we all want all the time. And it gets better than that. Because if we go over to a desert like you can see right here, do you know what you see? You see perfection. The problem with the desert is it's this really annoying kind of flat, rough terrain where you can see things for miles. Desert wells are perfect for blocking that. And instead what you see is this sea of the one structure. It's just beautiful. Over there, we see snowy desert wells. Over there, we see savanna desert wells. Those are jungle desert wells. You might think they couldn't generate in the jungle, but you'd assume wrong. Here is a plains set of desert wells with horses to match. I mean, actually, horses would be a really big benefit right now for getting over all of these things. But yeah, Minecraft becomes infinitely more interesting once you add a billion duplicates of the desert well. And I'm just thinking to myself, why isn't this a thing that Minecraft has already done themselves? I mean, sure, you might want to tone it up a little bit, like, yeah, there are some gaps where there aren't desert wells, where clearly we could do with some, but otherwise you look at it and you just see the clear problem of not enough desert wells. Like, what is the deal with this? What is the deal with that? But like, if we can look past those, you see that Minecraft becomes a much more beautiful game once you add some desert wells in there. In fact, I was thinking, it's so beautiful, it's so delightful that this wasn't enough. This is like a good first step. This is like moving the world forward, one step at a time. This is what the world would look like if we stopped arguing about which countries to bomb and instead made the world a better place for the citizens that lived in it, some would say. But then I realized, you know what? That's not enough. It's not enough to just make a slightly nicer version of the world, and so I got in touch with the person who made Desert Wells Only, and maybe we made something far more beautiful. No, I'm not talking about this ravine, and I'm also not talking about these absolutely beautiful villages, which, as you can see, have been vastly improved by the water sources. Even this ruined portal, which has been just torn to shreds by the generation, it seems. It looks like it was already combined with the village, and the desert wells have just made a mess that I cannot comprehend on any level. Although, actually, the chest is still very much gettable from over there. Heck yeah, we have finally made the dream happen. Because allow me to show you the beautiful Desert Wells add-on for Minecraft. It's a behavior pack. You can install it with one click. If you want to enjoy the most beautiful Minecraft experience, you have to enable creation of custom biomes too, by the way. But once you do, you'll get this. As you can see, I thought the desert well was a bit of a fun structure, but it's a bit constraining when you think about it. I mean, and that's why, as a result, instead of just having a desert well, ugh, boring, who wants just a desert well? Here is a well from every single type of block that can contain slabs. Obviously, the desert well's iconic structure involves slabs, and here you can see we've got black stone wells, we've got stone brick wells, we've got wooden wells. I mean, some would say, how can the wood hold the water? But you know what some would say? Stop ruining my vibe here, you know, Karen. Anyway, with that said, some others would say, ooh, isn't this a beautiful little stone well? Isn't this a beautiful wooden well? There are so many beautiful wells, and they also take up the world in such a way that you'll always be looking at a well. And yes, this is absolutely gorgeous. This is, and in fact, I thought we would go too far. I thought maybe when you have too many wells, it would hurt something, we'd ruin something beautiful. But no, what we get instead is we get this realization that Minecraft was never really about the mining or the crafting. Minecraft was actually instead about the desert wells. And I've considered, as a result of my extreme skill in, you know, like helping put together what might be the best add-on ever made, that I think this is also my application to work at Mojang. I mean, like, if I can do this, then what else can I do? I mean, if we take a look at my ideas, like, so think about it. Desert wells are so good. Make every structure a desert well. Make every part of Minecraft a well of some form. Then, you know, my other ideas are like, you know, I've looked at foods like rotten flesh, and I've looked at foods like raw chickens. I mean, if you were to hire me, Mojang, I would make it so every food had a small chance of being poisonous too. I mean, it's just unrealistic. Like, sure, I know salmonella's a thing with raw chicken, but also raw beef can give you brain parasites. Fun fact. Bet you didn't know that. There should be a small chance of getting brain parasites when you eat raw beef. It's just not safe. Did you know, for example, eating rotten flesh? Bad for a human being. It's generally advised by most doctors not to eat it. So you know what? Of course, you have to poison people for it. But also, people should be poisoned if they just choose to drink enough milk. Like milk, unpasteurized, straight from the cow. Not good for you, if you leave it lying around too long, at least. Anyway, you know, Minecraft doesn't have these realistic parts of them, and I would make sure that I fix these at the same time as adding desert wells for everyone, because this is the only way to play. Is that this one's got gravel at the top of it? This is the only way to play Minecraft, and you know what, if you disagree, then I think you've been playing Minecraft wrong this whole time. If you haven't been searching your whole life for this exact add-on, then honestly, you might have found the wrong channel, because this is beauty, this is perfection incarnate, and I think, honestly, every video on the channel is only going to go downhill from here, and that's why I want to warn you that you should subscribe now so you can see that meteoric downfall. That's right, you might think, why should I subscribe, Toycat? This was the weirdest video I've ever watched, and I still don't quite understand it. But in response to your absolute slander, what I would say is, you know what? You should subscribe, because did you know, statistically, most people who die in house fires aren't subscribed to IBX Toycat. I'm not saying there's a causation link between those two events, but I'm just saying, if you were subscribed, it would perhaps avoid terrible things happening to you. Perhaps. We don't know for sure. I mean, some scientists would say that it is a good thing to be subscribed to IBX Toycat, and that is why you should be too. But that is all I can say for now. If you want to download this, there'll probably be a link in the description. Honestly though, you know, if you go looking for a link in the description, I'm concerned about your mental health. Instead, I'll have the suicide hotline where the link for this download should be, because you're probably going for roughly the same thing, and then eventually enough people get mad at me for that I'll actually put the download link there. But yeah, Desert Wells only is the only way to play Minecraft as far as I'm concerned. It's incredibly dumb, but I'm so in love, and you should be too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in a real video tomorrow. Goodbye.